Hold on, gentlemen.
Well, you can't follow these rules. What's happening?
Guess it's on me.
Telling them shit.
Where I say?
You know the...
Yo. All right.
The story opens with Alexander Coates, a merciless crime boss, entering his personal torture room, where his trusted enforcer, Hurst, is detaining Sasha, one of Coates' own operatives. Coates accuses Sasha of botching his assignment and reminds him that he knew exactly what the punishment for betrayal would be. He says Sasha broke the code. Sasha desperately begs for a chance to make things right, but Coates instead orders Hurst to give him a knife, commanding Sasha to take his own life or be executed. Sasha refuses and suddenly attacks, screaming, but the struggle ends quickly. Coates kills him with effortless precision, without suffering a scratch, then calmly tells Hurst to get him a clean suit because his current one is stained with blood. Soon after, Coates presents Hurst with 2 handguns taken by force, offering them as a reward for capturing Sasha. He then assigns Hurst a new task: eliminate a man named Benny, who is still defying Coates from inside prison. Coates makes it clear that failure will not be tolerated. Hurst replies that it won't be a problem. Later, inside a disorderly prison, Hurst works undercover disguised as a guard. He moves carefully through the corridors, silently taking out guards one at a time while inmates rush to shield Benny. Just as Hurst is about to take the shot, he is distracted and kills the wrong person. During his escape, a furious inmate known as Iceman confronts him and tells him he failed. Hurst manages to flee. Outside, Coates calls to ask if the job is done. Hurst lies instantly, saying it's finished and agreeing to meet in 30 minutes. At their meeting, Coates introduces his associate, Dante, who reveals Hurst killed the wrong man. Despite it being Hurst's first mistake, Coates says consequences are necessary. Dante's men knock Hurst unconscious, but Coates spares his life. Instead, Hurst is brutally tortured, and his hands are crushed beyond recovery, destroying the very weapons that made him dangerous. 6 months later, Hurst is a shell of his former self, dulling his pain with drugs and isolating himself. He briefly interacts with a bar worker named Oso, says little, and retreats to his room. That night, Coates visits him, reminding him who he used to be and offering money so he can leave town and rebuild his life, encouraging him to regain his strength. 2 years later, Iceman is released from prison and meets Coates, revealing that Benny is still alive and secretly in their custody, demanding payment for keeping him hidden. Coates agrees, unaware Iceman is rebuilding his own criminal network. Iceman's crew soon sends a warning to rival gang leader Caesar, demanding a share of his profits or consequences. One night, Oso is attacked by robbers on his way to work.
Said give me the fucking box, Holmes.
But Hurst steps in, defeats them, and saves him. Shaken but grateful, Oso thanks him, and a quiet friendship begins. Not long after, Iceman's men barge into the bar where Oso and Karen work, harassing Karen openly. Oso stands up to them just as Hurst arrives to return something Oso lost, bringing them closer. Oso shares that Karen is like a daughter to him, while Hurst avoids discussing his ruined hands. Elsewhere, Iceman confronts Caesar and demands 10% of his earnings. When Caesar hesitates, Iceman savagely kills his men, proving refusal isn't an option. The next day, Hearst tails Iceman to a warehouse but is captured.
That's enough, Bruce Lee.
He learns Iceman was the one who provided the false identity for the prison job. Seeing Hearst broken and no longer useful, Iceman lets him live. Later, alone, Hearst falls into despair, feeling his life is meaningless, until he hears Karen screaming outside. He runs out and sees Coates and his men driving off.
What's going on, gentlemen? It's on me.
Realizing things have escalated too far, Coates decides to face Iceman personally and goes to his club. Guards try to block him, forcing Coates to respond violently. After dealing with Iceman's men, Coates tells Iceman to back down, saying war is bad for business. Iceman pretends to agree, but once Coates leaves, he plans an ambush, believing killing Coates will remove his last serious rival. Coates contacts Hearst, asking him to return. Hearst agrees, but Oso suddenly knocks him out. When Hearst wakes, Oso explains Coates ordered him to help Hearst recover. Before they can leave, Caesar's men capture them. At Caesar's hideout, Hearst is sentenced to be buried alive while Oso is tortured and Karen is threatened. Oso fights fiercely but is stabbed in the chest. Later, Iceman arrives demanding Karen, and Caesar, terrified, hands her over. Hearst escapes just before burial and returns, finding Oso gravely wounded. With his last strength, Oso begs Hearst to save Karen. Enraged, Hearst slaughters Caesar's men, shoots Caesar in the leg, and forces him to reveal Karen's location. Meanwhile, Iceman launches an all-out attack on Coates' base. As gunfire erupts, Hearst arrives and shifts the battle in Coates' favor, cutting down Iceman's soldiers. Cornered, Iceman grabs Karen as a shield, but Coates fires a single precise shot, killing him instantly. With Iceman dead and the conflict over, Hearst thanks Coates for standing by him.
But it's a bad life and I regret